Hey, this is Matt from mastersketchup.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to draw accurately. So I think there is a common struggle among new SketchUp users who might come from a different program and are used to being able to edit the size of objects parametrically. And SketchUp has a unique characteristic in how you define the size of objects. So for instance, let me undo that. I'm going to just draw a rectangle here. And the great thing about SketchUp is you can be as arbitrary or random as you want, or you can model to absolute accurate dimensions. So if you look down here, you can see the live dimensions of this rectangle as I drag it out. And if I want to define an absolute dimension, I just finish drawing and then I type in on my keyboard what dimension I want. So I'll go 4 feet, comma, 4 feet, and press enter. Now, as soon as you're done with any action, you have the opportunity to change your mind. So let's say I didn't like that and I wanted to go 4 feet by 6 feet. I could just type in 4 feet, comma, 6 feet, enter, and you could see it resizes. So you can do that an unlimited amount of times and change the size of whatever you just did. Now, if as soon as you select a new tool or do a new action, you lose that ability to edit the action that you just did. So I just selected the push-pull tool, and now I can't type in the dimension anymore for the rectangle. So all you need to do is kind of change your frame of mind and think, okay, so if I need to change this rectangle now, because in the eyes of SketchUp, you really have a collection of entities. So you have edges, you have the 4 edges around the rectangle, and you have the face. So there really are no real shapes. Once the rectangle is drawn, it just becomes 4 edges and a face. So SketchUp doesn't see this as a rectangle anymore. Now, circles and polygons are a little different because SketchUp will recognize that it is a circle or a polygon, but we won't get into that right now. So let's say we wanted to resize this rectangle back to 4 foot by 4 foot. There's a number of different ways we could approach that. So in this case, whenever you're modifying an existing shape, you want to use the modification tools. So you have a collection of modification tools. You're most likely going to either use the move tool or the scale tool. If we wanted to use the move tool, we need to select the entity that we want to move. So we could just click on this edge. So we're going to bring this edge back in 2 feet. So you can either click it or you could click and drag from left to right to select it, and grab the move tool and select the starting point and move it. And I always like to use my arrow keys on my keyboard to lock the axis. So I know I'm going along the green axis, so I'll just tap the left arrow key, so that locks me on my green axis, and I move in the direction that I want to move that entity. So I don't even care where I click. I just want to get the direction oriented correctly. So I'll click and then I'll type in 2 feet, enter. Now it's as easy as that. So it's just kind of changing your frame of mind from wanting to change the properties of the rectangle and thinking more along the lines of how to modify the existing entities to the dimensions you want. Now let's say you didn't know the distance that you wanted to move the entity, but you did know the overall dimension that you wanted the rectangle to be. In this case, it's relatively simple because we just went 4 feet, so 6 minus 2 equals 4, so that was easy. But a lot of times you're not going to know that math. You're not going to want to have to do that math. So a lot of times I might place a I'll use the tape measure tool to create a guide where I want it to be. So I would, again, same principle. I bring the guide out. I just click randomly, and then I type in 4 feet, enter. So that brings gives me a guide where I need to be, and then now I can use the endpoint with the move tool. I can grab that endpoint, lock the green axis with the arrow key, and then snap to that guide. And I've done the same thing there. But I didn't have to type in a dimension. So the difference is I didn't have to type in a dimension. I used the guide to lock me into where I needed to be. Now, another way to do this is with the scale tool. So this is actually a pretty cool use of the scale tool that I actually didn't know until relatively recently. So you can actually create a selection of any number of entities and apply the scale tool to it. So I'm going to select the face. It doesn't matter if I have all the edges or the face selected or just the face selected. The scale tool will still act the same way because it's going to grab the connected edges anyways. And grabbing the scale tool, now I can grab this handle and drag it down. Now, since I have the guide here, I can just snap to it. But by default, the measurement here is a scale factor. So if I wanted to scale it in half, I could type in 0.5, enter. So that's going to be 3 feet because originally it was 6. So half of that is 3 feet. But you can also type in a dimension. So for instance, I could type in 4 feet, press enter, and now the dimension from this side to this side is 4 feet. Now again, since I haven't activated a new tool yet, I can type in a different dimension. Let's say I wanted to go 8 feet, so I can type in 8 feet, press enter, and now the length of this rectangle is 8 feet. So that's another way you can do it. You can also, if you pay attention to the notes down here at the bottom of the screen, you can see some modifier keys. So let's say we knew this was going to be the center. So this is 8 feet now, and this guide is at 4 feet, which happens to be the center. If I wanted to resize this rectangle and maintain the center point, all I would do is hold down the control key. It says right here, if I hold down control, it's going to scale it about the center. So I could go like this. I could grab this handle and hold the control key, and we can see that it scales from the center. So I can scale it, and let's say I wanted the overall. So now I can type in an overall dimension. So let's say I wanted the overall to be 5 feet. So I type in 5 feet, press enter, and now when I measure this, it's 5 feet, and it's scaled about the center. So those are some tips to just show you that you can model very accurately in SketchUp, and even after you've drawn a shape, you have a number of different ways to manipulate the existing shapes, the existing sizes of the shapes in your model using the move tool and the scale tool. So thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe to my channel in order to get more SketchUp tips and tricks.